the pledge. Boomer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get on the silence for the guys who were killed in Afghanistan.
13 Marines.
Thank you.
Can we also get a moment for Kyle Stramansky?
No, yeah.
Passed away the other day. Thank you.
Roll call.
Councilman Foss.
Here.
Councilman Fallon.
Here.
Councilman Ondo.
Here.
Councilman Petrucci. Councilman Stein.
Here.
Vice President voted in. President Ingles.
Here. Okay. Council items, what we're gonna talk about for next week. Joe, let's first, let Boomer take this, all right? Yes. Boomer, you wanna take lead on this here for this, the eating of GS and tell me exactly, what this is? Where's the area and all that stuff?
Yeah, Rally's was looking into building a restaurant down on 8th Avenue. And after reading their code, it's permitted use is not allowed down in the general service area. So I called Greg on it because I was very surprised that any eating or drinking establishment is not permitted in that area. Because in the past, there's always been eating and drinking establishments in that area. We had the,
What area is that?
that's down on 8th Avenue.
They kept long.
On Harrison,
Harrison Street.
right below Harrison.
Yeah, right below Harrison Street.
There's a lot there.
There's a
next to
lot.
Okay, yeah.
They were-
Car run.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where they used to park, where the mill guys used to park in the
Yeah.
lot right there.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So after reading that, I called Greg, and Greg was very surprised too. He couldn't believe it. I said, we have 3 general service areas. Whitaker Way, and the VFW's been there for how many years? That's a eating or drinking establishment, should I say. 8th Avenue from Grant Street till Ravine Street, there's always been a pizza place there and a bar. And the other place was 4th Avenue, all the way up to the A field. There used to be an eating establishment there, Rocco's Pizza. And there was never any problems with any of those areas in the past with eating or drinking. So they asked if we could look into the zoning, we could change the zoning. Planning talked about it, okayed it, and went to county. County had 2 recommendations for us to look into maybe adding or subtracting from the general service area. And the second thing, maybe to restrict building of certain types of restaurants. Now, with that being said, COVID's changed a lot of things in the restaurant business. More places are going to, I think, turn into drive-through only because they don't want inside seating. That's why a lot of places are going, like, for example, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, the world is pretty much all drive-through now.
Well, I think Rallies is all drive-through, ain't it?
I can't speak on their behalf.
Every time I seen a Rallies, it was all drive-through.
Yeah. They have like a little bit of outside seating.
That-
Yeah,
Not
but
much
did
more
the
than
planning
that.
commission okay this?
I know we talked about it and we didn't really, we didn't see any reason why.
Yeah.
Well, that's, we gotta know.
Yeah,
You
we-
tell us,
Yeah.
you help us out by saying, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it just makes sense because, like I said, they've always had drinking and eating establishments in the general service area.
Just an FYI, Harv, that lot is where the original U.S. Steel General Office building was until 1944,
Right.
when they burned it down.
I didn't know, I just knew that's what was going.
Yeah, I have a bunch of pictures of the fire. It's pretty cool.
We had Wendy's right down the street from it. What's the difference?
Yeah,
So, their planning commission's okay with it, so it's up to us.
yeah, kind of like I
It's
said.
great thing about it.
Oh, yeah.
Then we had to advertise, we have a public meeting, a public hearing on it prior to the meeting. If any resident wants to come and talk against it or talk for it, they can,
Okay.
and then we'll vote on
It's been advertised in the,
It's Monday the 13th at 6:30. It's been advertised the last 2 weeks.
It's Monday, the
It's
13th?
Monday the 13th is what the
That's
state
planning
date shows.
meeting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here.
Isn't what they're talking about, the
Yeah,
public meeting for,
Oh, they're planning.
That's the
So
plan.
that's
Monday.
planning.
No.
Oh, no, yeah, this was,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's a different-
Yeah, it's gonna be
Public
right
meeting
before
would
the
be
regular
before
meeting.
we're thinking
Next
of
week.
changing the planning commission time of meetings.
Okay.
Because it was usually the workshop, the night of the workshop,
Right.
so.
Why they change it to Monday? Is that why they changed it?
That's what I thought.
Well, we didn't really vote on it, but that's what
Yeah.
I think we're gonna do it, yeah.
Just to be clear, the planning meeting is Monday at 6:30. The public hearing on this general service area for council to vote, prior to the voting, is Wednesday before the meeting. And I believe 7 o'clock too.
Correct, yes, and it was advertised, sorry.
Right, okay.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask you one question about that GS area? When you bring it up next week, are we talking only for the particular rallies area? Or are we saying this would open the door for that whole area to be, be able to have eating and drinking establishments? Can you clarify that?
Yes, it would be for all general service areas. All general service areas would include Whitaker Way, because that's the general service area, which has the VFW on it. Grant Street to Ravine Street, that's the general service area. And Forest Avenue up to the Afield.
Okay, so we're only saying, right now, we're only thinking about that area right
No.
there? You're
No,
not?
It'd be all 3 areas.
Okay.
But
the
there's
other
stuff there
areas-
now.
Sorry.
There's
The
stuff there
ones that
now.
are
Oh,
out
yeah.
there.
If you would do just the one, it would be spot zoning, when you're not allowed to
Yeah.
spot zone,
Right.
you have to zone the whole area. From what I, is that right, Boomer?
All right, well, Joe?
Furniture, we voted and we ordered furniture for the new building. I believe it was in the June meeting. And to give council another look, do we want to pay the $130,938 up front out of the new capital building fund? Or would we like to break it up over 5 years? 5 annual payments of $28,371. There's some interest involved in there, but that frees up some of the money to be able to do other things.
What would we be paying back?
Mr. Barlow, could you give those figures again one more time?
$28,371.40 annually, or $130,938.
If we finance it, we have the option of paying off in advance.
Yes. 5 years. We could go longer, I just wanted to give another look, to say, okay, we can do that, but. Okay.
Mr. Varhola, can I ask you a question about that? Is the furniture, when the company delivers it, is the company delivering and assembling it? Or are they going to deliver it and our guys are going to assemble?
No, they do.
They'll do both? Okay.
September 21st is the installation date right now,
Say it again.
September 21st.
Thank you.
Hey, one question is paving. Do we want to vote next week? Do we want to put a motion on the table to get the 2022 paving project together and ask Colin to do it now? Or do we want to wait till next year to do it and say, okay, what do we want to do? I talked to Bob. Some of the major roads are Venango, Wayne Road from Forest to Sunset, Larkspur from Vine to West Schwab. Those 3 roads look like they're going to cause problems. 19th from Maple to the Borough line, Park Square, which we've been putting off because of where it is and how small it is for the last 2-3 years. Fairfield from Caroline to McKinley, and Beachway from Caroline to McKinley. One thing, if we do it now, we can look to see where, if he puts his estimates together, we can see what we need paid for 2022, and we could budget accordingly. Keep in mind, we budgeted $150,000 this year. We should have budgeted about $400,000 like we were doing. So we got behind the 8 ball. We did this years ago. We got behind the 8 ball. We just had it. We continue to have to put more roads in. I mean, we had more to do. So
You think any savings by doing it earlier, Joe? I mean, I guess you really don't know, but.
the only
I mean,
problem,
you
I
want
think
something
we've got to pay
early.
him to do it now, not later.
Right.
But we have to get it done, and it's the same budget money for the most part, whether we do it in the 4th quarter or we do it in the 1st quarter.
Right.
Can they do it now?
We're not getting bids, we're gonna get estimates, he's gonna put a project together, a business plan.
Oh,
I don't think there's any problem with getting a business plan together now.
I think the only thing that could change is if there are some other roads that are okay now, but the winter takes a beating on it, and somehow some other roads leapfrog some of the existing ones on the list.
Well, that happens, I mean, you look at Venango and Wayne Road,
Yeah,
those are exactly what happened, and they became the worst.
right. I'm in favor of it now. I'm saying that's the one trade-off. If we do it now, then we are sort of fixated on that list of streets.
Well, that's just gonna give us we can always change the scope when you bid it out.
Yeah, no, we're not locked in. I agree.
Yeah, it just gives us an idea of what the budget. But keep in mind, another thing that we always do is we got 7 councilmen and the mayor. We drive down the street, and me and Boomer, and we all do it. We drive down the street, we hit a bumpy road, it's terrible, we come back and say, we need to pave that road, we need to pave that road. But this will give us an idea of what the budget for the next year.
What's the cost of the preparation? Any ideas?
Maybe for him to do it?
Yeah.
I'll ask
Is
him.
it $1,000?
Yeah, I'm guessing. All right, the GEDTF loan was, the grant was for the site plan next door for the utility site plan. We got the contract that's fully executed, which means once we have to pay it, the money should come quickly. The big grant, we're working through that every day. They ask us for stuff, and that's a huge project, and that's coming along fine right now too. Mutual aid agreement between the 3 boroughs. Believe it or not, I found one that Becky Price sent me, because she had it from 2015. No one has a signed mutual aid agreement. We'll put a motion on there to approve the mutual aid agreement between the 3 boroughs. We'll sign it. We'll give it to West Homestead for them to sign, and then Homestead to sign, so the 3 boroughs have a mutual aid agreement.
And what does that consist of?
Put an agreement so the 3 municipalities agree to back each other up.
Okay.
Fire, police.
That was West Homestead, it was looking for one, we couldn't find a signed one.
I mean, it's been going on all along, we just haven't had a signed one. We've been backing each other up for.
I thought it was an implied, I thought it was a local government thing to have. The last thing I have is COVID. We have, my wife's the manager in UPMC, she got emails out stating that no more travel, no more meetings off-site, watch the lunches, and wanted them to start separated. The Commonwealth, and I sent an email out on the 27th too. The county and the state are also mandating masks. I think we need to put some time into it and make a decision what we want to do. To tell you this, we could keep saying this, we're blowing it off and say, oh, people have underlying, this isn't nothing. I had a 51-year-old cousin that had no problems, he's dead last Tuesday. Boomer can tell you right now, he has a cousin fighting for his life on a ventilator. These people weren't sick prior.
I've been kicking around community day. I'd like to talk a little bit about that. You know, kicking it around, I'm starting to get a little nervous. Is it safe to have it? Does anybody have any opinions? I mean, I would love to do it. We have a lot of things already booked, but
Look at all the football games, man.
yeah, I mean, there's
Hundreds of thousands of people in college games.
100,000 people at Penn State next week.
Yeah, you're talking in college.
Would I go? Probably no. I wouldn't go.
I would never go.
I'm not going to go to one, but I know it's happening.
they're there, no one says how many people got sick.
In 2 weeks.
I mean, Allegheny County's last notification was like 405 or something in the last 24 hours.
High
And
school
the
and college
largest
kids,
group is between the ages of 19 and 39.
they're like
They're
26%.
unvaccinated.
The young people were like 26%.
Yeah.
And
Georgia Bulldogs coach came out the other day and said he's having trouble getting players on the field, and these are vaccinated people.
Well, I keep getting questions on the Halloween parade, and as far as, I tell people right now, as far as we know, we're having the Halloween parade, and Halloween is going to be still on
Well,
Halloween.
right now, I'm kind of looking at the school board to see what they're doing too. I mean, there's 2 events coming up. There's a cash bash they have in September 25th, I think, or something like that. It's a Friday night or something. And it hasn't been canceled yet. And then they have their Thunder Under the Bridge, October 3rd, and that hasn't been canceled yet. So I'm kind of watching their lead a little bit on this to see, because they do have that cash bash coming up at, I think it's at
St. John's.
no, not the one St. George's, St. Elias.
Now, Rob, is that the school board putting that on? Is that the
No,
group?
that's the PTA, more or less, yeah, that's not the board.
Yeah, the Thunder is
That's-
also.
that's the-
Athletes, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's,
think department,
right.
or the,
Well, the PTA is putting the cash bash on, I think.
I don't think they go.
And then the
Yeah, it's
The
just.
governor's saying, everyone's gonna make.
I've contacted
They don't wear
a lady from the county health department,
But they won't tell her.
and she hasn't really, she's got back to me, she said she'll keep me in tabs if other people are doing
We'll
it.
talk.
Places
When
are
they,
doing
when
it.
they pull the trigger, you know, that's what you gotta go by.
Yeah,
I mean, if Fitzgerald or the governor said that's it,
We
that's it.
do the ceremony with
They count, like, Becky just said, they canceled the Labor Day parade.
Yeah.
where do we get?
so right now we're just playing it by ear, that's when they bring that out. Next week, we're, for a council meeting, hopefully it's gonna have to say go or no, so I'll be waiting for a lead from the county and see what the school's doing, some of the events they're having.
Well, that's like the mayor and I just asked him about, for Veterans Day. Mark, they're not even talking about it in
Haven't
the,
heard a word,
yeah.
not even gonna bother to ask. Yeah, they haven't asked me a word.
They usually have it at the school.
Yeah, that's, indoor too, but you saw Hempfield already, their middle school's on, virtual learning for the week because of the outbreaks.
Yeah, everyone.
It's just gonna,
It's starting to wait till flu season gets here. I'll tell you. We're gonna be shut down again. But who's gonna enforce it here in this bill?
I don't know.
well, speaking of this building, we had a flood here on Monday.
oh, really?
Hot water tank.
Oh, hot water tank.
Flood over.
Yeah.
Anything else?
What else is good?
So I have a couple of things I'd like to speak about. Just to inform everyone, the bar down on 8th Avenue, in the Hall Street residents, and that whole general area, the police department has taken all the information and given it to the district attorney's office. And right now, they've arranged a cool down period, so the bar was shut down this past weekend and will be shut down next weekend. It's a cool down. It's, there've been problems there. 1 week's good, 1 week's not good, 1 week's good, 1 week's not good. So the attorney involved for the bar and the attorneys or the people for the district attorney's office working with them have negotiated this. So for now, it's a cool down period. Hopefully they get the process going where these people are starting to understand that we're going to shut them down if things don't change. So I wanted council to know that. I wanted the public to know that. That's one thing. Secondly, I talked with Joe Verhola last week regarding the West Homestead run, or Forest Avenue run down there. And I'm tying this in with Ravine Street. speaking to people down there in West Homestead and in Munhall residents down there that own property down there, they're having flooding issues. We're having flooding issues on Ravine Street. Talking with people who were talking with officials in West Homestead, and I believe their meeting is next week, that they're going to have their council meeting. I'm planning on attending. I spoke with Joe again about this, and I've had Joe talk to the DEP representative, or is it DEP or?
Yeah.
DEP representative. And I've not spoken with Joe, Mr. Rahol, about this since our meeting. But I told him I'm going to spearhead this. I think we need to see if there's money available, federal money. There tells me that there are federal monies available for such projects. So if we're going to work for West Homestead down there and Munhall down there, we also need to work for Ravine Street and try to get some monies available so that we can maybe secure some of that property down there. So I want the public to know, and council, that Joe and I did speak about this, and hopefully we move forward and can get something done. It would be a big feather in our cap if we could do something down there for the people down in Ravine Street, because I know they're having trouble. More so, you know, there's more residential area homes down on Ravine Street versus businesses down there on the Forest Avenue, West Run Creek area. I also we just mentioned about Halloween, which is something I wanted to talk about. Briefly, we already spoke about that. I don't know what you guys think about the furniture payment. I think we should maybe take it in payments. My thought.
My quick math had about a little $10,000 more by doing it in payments.
Over 5 years.
But there's still an option to do it, pay it off earlier.
Yeah, that's just throwing that out there for you. So that's all I have. I wanted to just keep people informed about those two items especially. Thank you.
If I could just talk about Munn Street, there was a public investigator that came in on Friday with a right to know request for all the police reports. What that process is I get the right to know request and I forward it to Nikki Vasovic, who will tell me what we need to do. Because of the holiday, I just wrote him a letter for the person, this private investigator, informing him that we're going to take our 30-day extension period because we need to get more information to make sure what he's requesting we're allowed to. What he's looking for is any kind of police reports and anything that came out of Hungarian Club, because he's investigating the shooting that was down the street. So Nick will deal with that. Nick will guide me in the right direction. We'll get the information. We'll talk to the chief and move forward. Those are the hassles and some of those, the war on them.
Who hired the private investigator?
The family of the person who got shot's attorney. And evidently it's a big law.
I've had about 5 houses come in and get their parking passes.
And my suggestion also is to pay it monthly, annually. Just frees up more money to do other things with.
Yeah.
When we do those, you talk about $2,000, you're paying more. But if you could pave a street or fix a sewer and save money, Shady Avenue is a perfect example. When we did those 3 projects at one time, we were able to save a lot of money because the second and third year wasn't deteriorating as much.
So what Becky just mentioned was the residents in the Munn Street, Hall Street area have parking available, parking permits available that they can get. I've had other residents down in the library area have called me and asked me about the same thing now. So that may be an issue that's going to come up because, you know, they're saying, hey, we're inundated down here when the music hall fills up. We're jammed. We can't park anywhere. And I you know, they asked, they said, you know, the word's getting out a little bit that they're doing this. So they're saying, hey, what about our area? Can we get a resident parking area in front of our street there? Which maybe we should look into something like that. You know, how far do we extend the parking and how far not do we extend it? you know?
We-
That's a sticky area.
Right, we talked about that too when we were doing this was our only fix-it, right?
It was, it is.
And
It's a bigger problem than someone parking in front of your home. This is a,
Oh, right.
it's
Not
a,
like
right, I mean, it's a bigger issue.
I think you should do what West Homestead does,
no parking.
no parking.
Well, another thing you have is,
And no one uses their driveway. No one parks in the driveway.
right by my house, there's 5 of them.
I had the same problem on my house from football, July to October, November, with football. And Ed Pledge was mad last year, 2 years ago, he couldn't get an emergency vehicle around there.
You got a roll, huh? I'm just sitting back listening.
Just saying, you know, it's something to look at.
Yeah, if you're gonna get more, something like up here, say this street, hey, why can't I get a permit for it?
Well, right.
And that street says I want.
Well, exactly. And we've opened that up. I mean, it's certainly,
That was brought up, though, that was brought up, when they wanted permit parking.
Right.
That was brought up about other people.
That's
Brought
right.
up about Main Street.
People on Main Street, yeah, Main Street's gonna be,
They've been asking.
been asking for that for a while.
Virginia, East Middle, West Middle.
Richmond is because
So
of
that would get
they're
years,
using it for their parking.
Parks are part of
Valet
it.
parking.
This is on Main Street too.
I figured you did it.
Go to.
The other day, I got a call from a resident on Roberta Drive, and what I was told was that the cars are literally exceeding the speed limit on Roberta and Timberwood. But what's the one?
Summerfield.
Summerfield.
Come here,
And,
outside Main Street and try that.
Because there's a lot of new families that moved in up there with kids, and kids were playing out in the street. So the question was, would we be able to get some signs to put up, like, hey, slow down, kids at play, you know, drive like your kid played here, or something like that. So anyway, I did call, and I think it was Scott McCall, I think he's the one, was Bicey off, I don't even know if it was off, but I had asked him about signs, and he didn't have any readily available. But I do think that he ordered them, so we are going to be getting some signs and stuff up on Roberta and Summerfield. Second thing, I know I brought up maybe a meeting or two ago about getting some kind of rumble strips or speed bumps or something in Woodhill Park. Maybe we could, if Colin's gonna do a study on paving roads and stuff like that, maybe we could throw a few bucks towards getting them installed.
Woodhill Park?
Yeah.
That's not even a quarter mile, it's not even, yeah, man, how can they speed?
Harv, I'm telling you what, I've witnessed it myself. They fly up to the concession stand, circle around and fly back down. I've seen it, and there's
Kids.
young kids that
When
live right
it's
there. right
not
on the
open,
corner.
when there's nobody there.
Even when people were there.
Why don't you get a regular license plate? You know, that's the problem, and you know, I drive down Western Road 25 miles an hour, there's people I'm driving 35, people on my,
Right.
you know, and the problem is we don't give enough tickets, you know, you gotta, you know, you can put on the rumble strips or speed bumps, but if you start giving out tickets, you know, it's just insane.
But you know what, Mark, you can't station a police officer at Woodhill Park.
No.
You know, I'm just thinking maybe three speed bumps.
But you know how
Three.
expensive are we talking about? Those are astronomical.
No, I'm talking about making them out of like asphalt.
Why don't you lock it up like they do around Happy Park after a
That's
certain
what I
amount,
was
that's it,
thinking.
they lock it up.
Say, lock it.
They do, it's supposed to be, the gate is supposed to be closed at 9 o'clock. Usually I'll walk my dog down there and I'll open the gate early in the morning. I'll open it up and chain it up so it's open. But the thing of it is it's getting somebody to close it at 9 o'clock. That's the
But
problem.
I mean, Ryan Happy Park, certain, I think it's this month or the end of this month, they lock up.
They
You can't
lock it
get
up,
in.
yeah.
It's done. You can't get in there.
Well, like I said, if we just get 3 asphalt, I mean,
They use Woodhill Park all the way.
yeah,
through.
it's, you know,
They playing softball?
They're
yeah.
playing in that building, they're practicing in that building, they're batting.
And they're still having games and stuff up there.
Whoever runs that
Speed bumps
valve,
in
that thing, right?
approach.
He could have a key to open up, but you gotta lock it up too when he
Right,
leaves.
I agree.
Well, not even to lock it up. If you close the gate and
Lock it up.
it changed, you know. I don't think anybody's gonna get out of their car and open the gate, but the problem is when the gate is open, from early in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, or even later, because I hear it from the residents. People are flying up there, doing donuts, coming back, and, you know, I mean, I was up there today, I saw like beer cans, I saw, pint bottles of, so it's becoming a hangout, you know.
That's at every park we have.
Yeah,
I never
no, I
crossed the
understand.
Kev.
But the whole
Same
thing, here's the
thing.
thing,
There was a big fireworks display for Labor Day there.
I don't care
I
if
don't
they
know why
drink
you do
beer, I don't
fireworks
care if
Labor
they
Day.
drink vodka, I don't care what they drink. The problem is
Bottles.
we don't want one of them little kids to get run over.
Oh, absolutely not.
That's it.
I'm just saying, it's
I'm just-
not just with one park.
I'm
I've
just
seen
bringing
big
it up.
something too.
I'm just bringing it up.
Yeah.
The Proj has, rumble strips that they put in and take out.
Right.
We could do that.
They'll
Yeah.
be taking them out because of the winter, so they.
Right, so we could do that.
Well, we do not plow Wood Hill Park. So once it snows, I know that they do a loop, you know, to turn around and go the other way and stuff like that. But again, to save cost of putting rumble strips in, taking them out, putting them in, just make some humps out of asphalt. I mean, it couldn't take much, you know.
Couldn't take much to put them on Ravine Street.
Nope.
You don't need them, they got rumble strips there now already.
Enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but first they do King Road, they already fixed it already. And they did our street before they did theirs. Somebody needs to get on the utility companies to fix their mistakes
I already
now.
brought it up.
Third
Talk to
thing,
them.
and this is an easy
What
one.
they say?
They're not working.
I would like
They're not
to
working.
request
They're not done-
a
they're
key
not
done
for
working.
the flag on Kennedy Park. I mentioned it to Becky. I would really like to get a key for that, because the halyard's locked up.
I have a key.
Rick has a key, but I would like to have a key.
It is.
I'll get mine. We'll make one.
Yeah, we'll make one, what, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why don't
well,
we do?
I don't know who, you know.
I have one. Told you, I have one. We can get one made for you.
Okay, that's it, I'm done.
When I want to touch on those signs, you say not working here, not, you know, your kid, I like your kid here and everything. You go down Arbor Lane in Pleasant Hills, that's right past, that's going down Curry Hollow Road, you make a left at Sheets. You go down there, and they have them, people bought them, and they put them in their own yards and everything. And it's great. And it says, they did put a sign up there that says 25 mile an hour. And now when I had to go to Bookminders, that's where I had to go that way. I would go down past Bookminders, or when I go to Bookminders, I made sure I never went over 25 mile an hour. And there's these people on my butt. Guess where they're parking? Right there in the house. There was the residents on the street and most of them driving. So I could look into them and find out where they got them, and maybe we can put them out there, put them on the Crime Watch page, and if these residents want to buy them, it does work. It does work. But I'm going to tell you right now, Wood Hill Drive, they drive a lot faster on Wood Hill Drive.
Sure.
And then they do on Roberta. So if we do it on Roberta, now we're gonna do Wood Hill just for the
Right.
permits. Now we're gonna buy it for everyone.
Stop, yeah. Stop.
They drive faster on Shady Road, so.
Right,
The
right,
issue is the
One
cut
at
through.
a time.
They
Right.
drive
People
fast.
cutting through.
right.
Where do you
There
stop?
was talking years ago about shutting off one end to the other, and that's probably.
When they put that stop sign there,
Yeah, that was
top
what
and bottom, that would slow people down. Summerfield, I don't see how they, well, you can speed anywhere, but I mean, that's,
People wouldn't even
Yeah.
want.
But you know what, though, I'd hate to be the guy that would have to explain to a parent of a little kid that got run over that, well, you know what, if we did it here, we had to do it elsewhere, you know? So I just brought it up. I just had a resident call me up and ask me what they had to do, and I said, I will bring it up at a meeting.
Are their kids, they're more important than my kids? You know what I mean?
No,
I'm not trying to be,
I
I'm not trying to be
understand,
disrespectful.
no, I
I'm just
understand,
trying to
but
make a
like I
point.
said, I would hate to have to be the guy to go up to a parent and say, you know, the reason we didn't do it is because we would have had to do it here and there and there and there and there. You know, I mean, a couple of signs, what could it cost us? You know, see if it works.
I think they're buying themselves.
I think they buy it themselves.
I do.
You're right, and I've seen them all over Virginia and different places. People buy them themselves, you drive like your kids live here. I think maybe we should offer, that's a good idea.
So is that what I should tell these people?
We're
You
looking
want to
at,
buy it yourself? Is that what I should tell them?
What, you told them we buy them the signs?
No,
Is that
I
what
didn't
you
say
told them?
nothing. I said I would bring it up at the
We
meeting.
have brought it up, and that's what we're discussing it, that's what the
Okay.
thing is.
All right.
you know?
But we're discussing,
It's
don't
been
come back
looked
and
into.
talk about.
No, I'm
We
just saying.
could put up slow children signs, those kind of signs, but the yard signs, we're not buying yard, we can't buy yard signs. I don't
Nobody
think
said
we're-
yard. I said a couple signs on the poles. That's all I
Yeah,
asked.
those are fine, yeah, 25 miles an
Speaking of
hour.
playgrounds, did you ever have some traffic, right? Right, Eddie, I'm glad you walked in.
What'd I do?
Was you there to help that girl get out of that baby swing?
Number 4 and, number 2 went, yeah.
Now that's your park, so everybody wants a nice park, like that girl one.
What happened?
See the baby swings? The baby,
Routinely for
she was a
girls.
60-year-old girl, got stuck in it.
Yeah, we had to cut around, we had to cut around.
They had to cut her out.
When he said number 2 and number 4 showed up, all
Or
number
you
2
never
and
did
all
nothing
number
stupid
4
when you were
showed up.
16?
No.
You never did nothing stupid when you were
He wasn't
16?
Stone Valley student.
No, I wouldn't sit in that damn thing.
Well, you probably didn't get in, even at 16.
Hey, I'm
First of all, my legs would hit the ground, ain't no sense sitting there.
Go to the yard. And when he got into the park, started to drink before I said,
No,
well,
I cannot stand that.
they would have talked all the time
My
down.
daughter watches that crowd, I just cannot.
They cut him out. I ain't got nothing else. Anybody got anything?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, aye.